Let me all thank you all for making the spirit of today so fantastic. I really feel a massive amount of energy in the room, and I think it's because the right people are definitely in the room. From what we've heard so far, you are people who want to actually build a business. And I think from hearing from Juliana, which I don't know about you guys, I just thought it was the most incredible slot, because really that is the foundation of our business. The foundation is the self-belief, but on top of that, then we have to build a really good, stable, strong, secure business. And I really think that how we do that is getting the foundations right. So the first 90 days, now, if you've been in the business 6 months and you're thinking, well, it's not my first 90 days, the first 90 days are when you choose it. When you decide that, right, I am starting my business now, I'm going back to basics. And actually, if you're not where you want to be, it's probably because you just didn't master the basics first. So we're going to talk about that today. What did I do in my first 90 days? I was prepared. I already had mindset sorted, which I think for most people is 95% of the challenge. I knew how important it was. I'd been doing it for about 6 years before that, every single day, working on my mindset and self-development. So I was definitely kind of one step up the ladder in terms of starting your business with a bit of momentum, in terms of I knew what I had to do. I was really confident about what the opportunity was, because I stayed up all night. The first night I joined, you may have heard before, I stayed up all night, all through the night, watching the business presentation over and over again. Quite honestly, I had no idea how the marketing plan worked. I didn't understand it. The percentages confused the life out of me, but I learned it parrot fashion. Once I said it over and over and over again, telling everybody about the business, I was then confident in what I was explaining. So by staying up, pulling that all-nighter, if you think about that, I probably put in about 15 hours of revision. And when you think of it, have you put 15 hours into learning your business? 15 hours into learning that business presentation, so that if you wake me up at 2 o'clock in the morning and say, Emma, do a one-to-one, I can rattle it off like that. In fact, all I need is a piece of paper and a napkin, and I can do a really great one-to-one. You've got to be that confident. So if you decide that this is going to be the beginning of your first 90 days again, make sure you learn how to present the business. I was really enthusiastic, and you have to be. Going away from here today, this enthusiasm, you need to remember it. So give yourself a little voice memo on your phone, how you feel when you leave this room. It almost feels sometimes like someone opens the curtains and says, what have you been so scared of? You're not on your own building a business. There's all these wonderful people that are doing it as well. They're all just like you. Why can't you do it? The logic steps in. You're like, hang on a minute. She's quite shy. She's just like me, and she's been on stage being recognized. I can do it. Send yourself a voice memo, and those voice memos are really great for the days where you think, oh my gosh, how the hell was I so confident a week ago? I was a diamond manager on my head a week ago. I was going to go out and rule the world in forever. And then today I can't even speak to anybody. Listen to that voice memo. Remind yourself of why you felt so confident, why you felt so proud to be with forever, why you have to make it work, why you have to achieve your goals. Send yourself a message that you can revisit should you have a bit of a wobble at any time. I was very proud to be part of Forever, because I don't know if you know, but I researched it for 4 years before I actually joined. So I wasn't very quick on the uptake. I didn't really understand it. I kind of turned my nose up a little bit at it and thought, I'm a police officer, why would I do stuff like that? I was scared because I'd never sold, recommended, whatever you want to call it, anything before in my life. And I thought, I'm just not one of those people. I'm not very good at that. I won't be very good at that. But as Jules said, when you forget all that, you put it aside. You realize the goals that you have, and you are prepared to learn, and you're prepared to get some new skills. Then anything is actually possible. And when you put in the work in, you'll see the results, and so you'll get more confident in it, and you'll do a little bit more work, and you'll see a few more results. And that's when you start gaining some real traction in your business. I was inquisitive. I was one of those annoying people that asked every question. I love it when I get those people in my team because I know that they are ready to go to work. And yeah, they know now, because a few of them are sat here today, very successful FBOs actually, because they asked everything and here she goes again. Every time I met, another question. But actually, underneath I'm thinking, I'm going to watch them. Because those are the people that they're keen to learn. They want all the information. What Juliana very cleverly did with me was guided me in a way that I could find the answers myself, which made me a really good leader. If she'd have just told me the answer, it may not have stayed with me. But she was able to guide me where I found the answer, got the answer, never forgot it, and then was able to coach other people to do exactly the same. I went to every single business presentation, but actually my closest one was just under an hour away. So I went there. I felt less than inspired, if I'm honest. And Juliana told me, get yourself to the Wales BP. It's an amazing BP. That's where you'll learn how to present it. And I did. I took myself off on a 7-8 hour round trip. I was 38 weeks pregnant-ish, something like that. And I drove after work, got in my car, went down, watched it, was absolutely blown away. I saw Hugh and Jeanette present that and thought, okay, I'm really starting to get this now. And I knew that I had to be at a BP every week. There wasn't one that close to me, so we started our own. Do you see the conviction, the confidence, and even though I was, faking the confidence a little bit because I was actually really nervous, but I knew what I needed to do. I needed to take responsibility. I loved success stories, and actually the massive growth we've seen in Forever is only as a result of a quick succession of a lot of success stories. And that's how you build your businesses quickly, slowly, steadily, is by success stories within your team that you can account, on a personal level to the person you're speaking to. We've just seen Faces of Forever. It is an incredible tool that none of us have had before. And if you use that well, if you're talking to enough people to show them those kind of stuff, you're going to be doing great. I actually only had one planning meeting, I think up until Soaring or Sapphire. I sat down with Jules once after that. Not because it wasn't offered, not because I wasn't supportive, but I didn't want one. I didn't have time to sit down and plan my business. I knew exactly where I was going because I had those strict goals. So as soon as Juliana showed me how to get to supervisor, I knew exactly how to get to manager. I knew exactly how to get to Soaring, because it's actually just teaching people how to get to supervisor, really. So all the supervisors we saw on the stage today is no different. You just keep going for supervisor again in new. That's it. That's all you have to do. It's really basic, our business. And when you're underpinning them with these foundations, with these steps as you start your journey, when you're really ready to take it seriously, there's no end to what you can achieve, but you've got to stick with it. Self-development is massive. You've got to work on your mindset. You've got to be interested, and you've got to be interesting. When you're meeting people out and about, you've got to be interested in them. And you've got to be interesting. You've got to have a little story to tell. So just start asking questions. I treated First Steps to Manager like my Bible. This business would be really complicated if we didn't have the tracks to run on, because you'd be thinking, where do I put my attention? What do I do now? What's the next step? There's no other companies with these kind of training tools, and thankfully the people who have paved the path before us have given us First Steps to Manager, and I, for one, am super grateful for that. It's the tracks to run on. Don't deviate from it. Everything you need to build a business is in that book. That's all you need. But you have to master those separate parts of our business, and then you need to learn how to coach it. And if you can do that well, there you have. Knowledge isn't power, it's potential power. So once you know how to do the First Steps to Manager, once you know how to coach it, that's great. But then aside from that, you've got to be speaking to enough people, showing enough people the opportunity, so that you have a team that you can show off your new coaching skills and show them First Steps to Manager. Take them through it. But if you ever feel stuck in your business, go back to First Steps to Manager. On the first page, you'll find goals. And you probably feel stuck because you've not got those goals that you are really, really connected and committed to achieving. Writing your who do you know list, profiling. All of those things are tools that you need. Running your business right. I run a multi-million pound business from an A4 lever arch folder. I don't need anything else. And it seems a bit ridiculous, but it's true. That's how basic our business is. We don't need to overcomplicate it. Added to all the skills that I got, the learning that I did, the one thing I had was a work ethic. Honestly, I do believe that people build their business either for one of two reasons, either inspiration or desperation. You're inspired by something somebody else has achieved that you've seen, or you're desperate. I was blinking desperate. And that made me work. The fear of things just staying the same, or actually getting worse because I was so heavily pregnant, life how it was, plus a new baby, it really wasn't worth thinking about. I would have done it, because you just crack on. But when I found I had a choice, forever could give me another way, I was willing to go to work. And I read in a book a few weeks back, and it said, work ethic will always outwin talent. And I didn't really know what it meant, so I started Googling and did some more reading. And it's true, you know. You could have the most natural talent to be a networker. If you don't have the work ethic to go and network consistently, you're never going to be successful. But if you've got a work ethic and natural talent, you're unbeatable. Because I'm actually not a natural networker. I really have to try hard. I was the same at school. I wasn't just naturally there. I had to try really hard. But I tell you, I will beat you time and time again on work ethic, because I'm prepared to work for my family. So if you have a natural talent for it and you have a work ethic, you are gold dust. You're sat on a gold mine. If you're like me and you have to really work at becoming a networker, you know, I'm still working and learning on it every day. As long as you have a work ethic, you'll outwin talent, natural ability every single day of the week if you're prepared to go to work. So be prepared to work. Because all of these things combined together, if you can get them in your first 90 days, you really are really setting good, strong, stable foundations for not just a great business, but a phenomenal business. It is all about learning the basics and putting those foundations into your business that will not just last your lifetime, they'll last your children's lifetime and your children's children. And I can honestly say to you, hand on heart, I've traveled around the world a lot with Forever, and I've spoken to a lot of Forever business owners. Nobody that I have come across that isn't part of QLS or a part of, you know, some UK downline has the structure that we put into our businesses. And that is why our businesses will last a lifetime. So you guys here today, you are in the right place amongst the right people. You've just got to get the right work ethic, the right goal set, and get the right skills, and you are on a fast track to success. I wish you all the very best of success and look forward to welcoming lots of you onto the stage next Success Day with your huge promotions, I'm sure.